Y'all, you already know what it is. You hear the music in the background. Happy Sunday. I gotta pause that shit. Fucking copyright. It's 1:77 today, boy. I'm waking up late and shit. This video probably gonna go up a little bit later than usual. But we gonna do what it do. I'm still gonna pull up at that Walmart where I got jacked. But it don't matter, man. We gotta keep it pushing. And before I start this little review or discussion, I just want to say, I feel like with the Kara organization, there's one thing that's been left out when discussing it, because we're starting to hear like how they're, well, in the manga and the interviews that I've seen Naruto Explain talk about, he's discussed how the Kara organization is this big conglomerate of just random people. There's outer members, there's inner members, and anyone could pretty much be within that group. We've seen scientists before and all that thing, and we're just seeing how complex it is. However, what I feel like what's been thrown under the bus, because the last episode that we watched, we were talking about, or had mentioned that it could be like traders within the fucking village. Like there could be feudal lords, there could be people in high positions. We don't know. Anybody can be considered a trader, right? Which adds the depth of the organization itself. It's not just these villains with these cool powers. However, I feel like what people have kind of just forgot about, we've also seen within the past episodes the backstabbing that has happened within that organization. I mentioned it in another video. It's kind of as if, or kind of close to what the Akatsuki was, where yes, they have this one common goal. However, there were people who fed information to outside sources, such as Sasori and talking to Kabuto. The only one who was really loyal to that organization really was Kisame. And that's because he would just die for any fucking thing. He'll die for the fucking... He fell in love with the power of who he thought was Madara at the time. But that's kind of like the same thing with this organization. It's like we've also seen members have intentions against other members. We've seen motherfuckers have their own pretty much reason to be in that group in the first place. So they all have their own motives. They are working towards the same goal. Victor, we see like he kind of he trying to steal from the big homie. So we all know, and it's like the saying goes, there's no honor amongst thieves. If you rolling with a crew and y'all doing some dirt, someone gonna snitch on you. Someone gonna maybe even try to kill you. Someone's gonna try to take your position. All that type of shit go down. But I do believe that the snakiness of the organization has been kind of slept on. I feel like that's being slept on. But let's get on to the review. Now, this is more of an experience than it is in a review. I go by these plot points based on how the episode rolled out. And this is kind of just what popped into my head as, like I said, how we got it. Now, point number one, there was like a pickup of urgency. Like immediately in this episode, I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like I fell for the bait, bruh. I fell for the bait because I was like, yo, we start off and it's Inojin. Not Inojin, but her mom. I'm his mom. That bitch bad. Like I fell in love with her in this episode. But let me just say this. We picked up, they're like in the sensory area. They're trying to pick up chakra and shit. There's an infiltrator, allegedly. And right then I'm thinking, okay, yo, what the fuck is going on? How is it going to tie into the manga? Because I'm thinking this is a real urgent situation. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Who's this? What's going on? But it turns out just to be a drill. Sai, they run up on Sai, they pulling up blades on the motherfucker. I'm like, oh, goddamn. And it's just Sai. And the one thing that caught me off guard in this scene particularly is Inojin's reaction. Like, after everyone was cheering and shit, they're saying, yeah, the test worked. This is our new scientific ninja experiment. Inojin, he was kind of just looking like, oh, fuck. Like, on some Shikadai type shit, on some Shikadai shit, on some Shikamaru type shit, where he's like, oh, man, it's going to be some bullshit. Now I got to do this, And that caught me off guard, because it was like, they didn't really explain why he was so unhappy until the episode kind of rolled out even further. And on to point two. Now, what I wrote down here is, oh, man, this some bullshit. Because I was like, here we go with this shit. Because we got dick teased with the motherfucking Kara organization. We just seen Jigen, Victor plotting and shit. And then I'm like, oh, we're really going to get a fucking Inojin episode. And that's me at point two. By the time I finish this episode, Inojin, and I'm going to get to that point, he's a nigga I fuck with now. this episode, I give it a solid grade, bro. I give it a 7.5, almost an 8. It just took a while to get there, but because like I said, I came in a little bit hype about what was going on in the last episode. I thought we was gonna get some more college type shit. So I came in with a different expectation, but this was good. This was a good episode. So I thought it was like, fuck, dog. This is gonna be like, I don't say the F word. I'm not gonna say the F word, but it was starting to feel like that until we got Boruto and Shikadai in the mix, because they ended up pulling up, meeting at this little station and saying, "Oh, you're part of the team too." So they're gonna be a part of this. Because if it was just solely Inojin, I don't know if he has the star power to hold an episode on his own. But with Boruto, Shikadai in the mix, two of the geniuses of this generation, it definitely helped. Now on to point 3. Now this is just a random little thing I noticed because we're still at the station, and this is more of a diss towards Sai, bro. Like, you soft, my nigga, because Inojin's last name is the same as his mom's. And I know Sai's adopted. But when Sai got married, did he take Ino's last name? That's all I want to ask. Because that's a little strange, bro. I mean, we could have made one up, gave you a variable, bro. You could have been Sai X, my nigga. But on to point 4. Inojin, at this point, he's looking like a disgrace. He's fucking garbage. He's failing every single test. His sensory ability is very close range. And even when he did discover things, it was a little bit off. And he would use like his Super Beast scroll, like that scene where he pulls out the fucking tiger. Like, he uses the most violent animal he could think of to go get the suspect and shit. And even his trainer, forgot his fucking name, he was a cool design. Like, for a filler character or for like an extra character, he was a dope design. Like, he was one of the more attractive non-essential characters I've seen in the show. I would say even more so than those like hidden mist, or not the hidden mist. It was like the whatever the fuck that village was. Those purple hair dudes, like, they were cool. They had cool character, but the design was kind of lackluster. This dude, he had it. He was pretty legit. But you could see his reaction. He's like, "Yo, dog, you're gonna use a fucking tiger, bro? Like, keep it chill." And even then, he fucked up a chicken coop. On to point 4. Oh, so like this is still point 4. So Inojin's looking like a disgrace. We get back to the scene where they walk back towards the village and they're telling them about the tests and how they've been going. Ino's like staying in command. She's like, "Yeah, we're gonna build the best fucking sensory defense thing that you've ever seen in the world." And this is where I started to fall in love with Ino, because I remember her as being that motherfucker that's always talking shit, always in a bad mood. She didn't fuck with nobody besides Sasuke. And eventually, thought Sai was a little something. And I don't know. It's like she did this little hair flip, and that right there, aesthetically, she caught me. But it was more so her character, and I'm feeling like the women in this, and at least Boruto, they're starting to take this different lane, and I fuck with it. We're starting to see like these leadership skills, like these militant types. Like, they're gonna be like, I feel like shit. I don't know. It's different. It's very different. I feel like she had this different type of appeal to her, and I felt the same as Inojin did, because it's like, we only know you as like the flower shop lady. We didn't know about you and all your triumphs during the Great War and what happened post Great War. I mean, like the things that she's accomplished post Great War, and her being the leader of this team and shit. It's a different side of her that we've got introduced to at the same time as Inojin, which I thought was a cool thing the show did. Because it's like we're almost growing again. We're growing to learn these old generation characters as they are parents. And that's the same thing with Sai. My next point is point 5, and it's, let's see if my nigga Sai learned anything from them books, bro. Because we remember him in Shippuden. He's just, he's very observant. He's always been observant. He always knew how to read people's emotions and shit like that. And his main problem was he just never really knew how to express himself in a normal manner. And normal, I mean like in a way that didn't offend people really. And he has a good talk with his dad, or with Inojin. It's a good father-son moment where he's saying, "Look, man, your mom goes hard because of her inspiration for your grandfather, who's a great ninja and all that. But I think what you could do is just do what you do best and focus on that. That's all you got. Just focus on your tools." And this kind of brings me to my next point, which is Inojin's path, Inojin's inspiration. Now, at this point, this is where I started to feel for him, because before that, Inojin was just like another character. He was just a background character I didn't really have any ties to. I never really was a fan of Ino. Sai was cool. I related to Sai because I am the same way, bro. I read a fucking bunch of books trying to learn what the fuck people are, trying to get out this social awkward stage. I'm way better than I was a few years ago, to be honest. But I just never really was emotionally tied to Inojin. But now it's like we know his inspiration. We know his motivation now, just with that small talk. And it ties into the main theme of Boruto, where it's about destiny, controlling your own destiny. Although you do have certain traits, certain abilities, certain ties to your family, you have to use what they gave you to build your own path. Like, you don't necessarily have to be caught in that same cycle, you know? So that was a dope little thing. And on to point 7. And this is another one about Ino's mom, bro. Like I was telling you, like I fell in love with this bitch. And I don't mean, I say bitch respectfully, dog. So Inojin as a mom is Ino as a mom is something different. And it's, at this point, he's going out to the part 2 test. And she just says, hey, don't think about me. Just do your fucking best. Like, who is this woman, bruh? Like, she loves flowers. She's a very good mother. She's delicate. She's gentle. And at the same time, she used to be that bitch. She used to be that bitch where you're just like, oh, here we go. She's cutting bitches' hair and shit. She's trying to take niggas' bands. She's out there just being a bully. She used to be a fucking bully, but she's a sweetheart and she's a leader. And I fuck with it. She's a very different character, and I like that shit. She's developed. She's grown. She's not, they're not kids no more, bruh. And Inojin's new style. This is how I'm gonna end it off, because he ends up sensing like this glitchy little chakra within the village, and they figured out, well, Shikadai figured out, because he was studying that bingo book, and that was a good thing to tie in. They mentioned the bingo book way earlier, so Shikadai's been studying as a tuning the bingo book for a while. There's new additions to it, and by the end, it pays off, because he's like, yo, there is this one dude he could change. His style is to use other people's chakra. He could create other people's chakra and, kind of use it as his own. And this ties into my 6th point, where it's like, yes, we take the traits we are given, but we make them our own to build our own destiny. So Inojin does this dope shit, bro. Like, he uses his Super B scroll to expand his chakra and expand his range for the detectability of the chakra sensing. And that shit was dope. So now I'm looking forward to other mixes. Like, we already got taste of Shikadai. There was that episode where Shikadai was like, yeah, I used my shadow paralysis. This is the same beef he had, bro. Like, when they were talking about shadow paralysis and shit, and like the elder of the Nara clan was around, and you should do this, this, and that. You got to be a political person. He's like, man, fuck that shit, nigga. I just want to beat niggas' asses and shit. I want to use my wind style. I want to use both my shits. And this is what I mean. Like, we got these new breeds, these new generation of ninja where they're more diverse. They're like, clans are mixing, nations are mixing. We're seeing the good and the bad. So the good is the new powers that are attained through the diversity. The bad is, well, we're now a little bit lacking. We're not so militant. We're not so worried about the world ending tomorrow. The borders are open. Strangers could come in, and some of those strangers have ill will. But the good is new power, new information, new technology. But I'm going to end that with that. This was a solid episode. Like I said, this was a beautiful episode to show growth. And now I have a new character that I care more about. I'm not going to say Inojin's my favorite, but he definitely has potential that I'm willing to invest and see where it goes. Shikadai, like, if I had to give you my favorite new breed character or my new gen characters, of course, number 1's Boruto, bruh. I would say number 2 has to be, it used to be Mitsuki. I used to love Mitsuki through my faith through Orochimaru, because I love Orochimaru's top dog, bruh. But number 1, I would say Boruto. And that's based off potential, because I feel like he's going to be the greatest shinobi we've ever seen throughout the history of Naruto. He's going to be the god. This nigga going to be god, bruh. So I would have to say Boruto Uzumaki. Number 2, Sarada. Number 3, Shikadai. Number 4, Mitsuki. And the rest of y'all niggas still got to prove yourself. But Metal Lee, we need a Metal Lee episode, bruh. That's what the fuck we need. Where my nigga Metal Lee at? Now we need Metal Lee. Give my nigga some Metal Lee, get my nigga Metal Lee some kung fu action in this bitch. I'm gonna leave that there. Peace, y'all. Love y'all. Happy Sunday. Take care.